Yeah, what it do, world? Yeah, we got some news for you. So we're gonna bring it right to you. The animal population is growing and growing, and it's not out of control. So we're gonna bring it right to you. So what I wanted to bring to you is it's snake season. In Chinese culture, this is the year of the snake, and the snakes are starting to come out. The sun is shining, and they are poking their heads out. So I just wanted to bring you a couple videos and articles and stuff like that of what's going on around the world.
We decided to put in a live streaming camera at what we call a mega den, which is a den with many individuals in Colorado. And the purpose of this is twofold. One is for research. So as scientists, we can collect data on their behavior without disturbing them. So it's actually natural behavior. And number two is that we can show this to the world. We can show everyone what rattlesnakes are actually like.
So yeah, that's just Denver. So yeah, Colorado's rattlesnake mega den is active and you can see all 2,000 snakes at once. They are coming out. This is just Colorado, y'all. So the rattle cam is back as over 2,000 snakes begin to emerge from hibernation. The live stream was set up in 2024 through a collaboration between scientists from California Polytechnic State University, Central Coast Snake Services, and Dickinson College in Pennsylvania. RattleCam gives viewers a peek at the hundreds of wild rattlesnakes living in the mega den at an undisclosed piece of private property in Colorado. After hibernating for several months, the den's snakes are starting to emerge to shed their skin and soak up the sun. Many of the female rattlesnakes in the Colorado den are believed to be pregnant and will likely spend the warmer months giving birth and tending to their young, according to the RattleCam website. Owen Backhuber, a California Polytechnic State University graduate student and member of the Project RattleCam team, said researchers expect the mega den snakes to become active again throughout May. They were told that the location of Colorado, at the Colorado den, will remain undisclosed to protect the snakes. The den's live stream began in spring of 2024 and rapidly gained 2.5 million viewers, reaching 180,000 viewers a day in some cases. So yeah, this is just one of the many locations where there are thousands coming up. So let's keep it going. Here you go. Watch hundreds of rattlesnakes come from out of mega den ahead of new Pennsylvania webcam. This is Pennsylvania. Oh, that's not Pennsylvania. It's Colorado. I don't know why it popped up as that. Well, after recently achieving more funding, a new live stream in Pennsylvania will likely debut in the spring of 2026. Okay. But they're already there. So they wouldn't be going there if they weren't there. But the new camera has the possibility of showcasing other types of snakes like copperhead. Like the massive amounts that are popping up right now is extraordinary. In places where people typically wouldn't think they would be popping up at. So that's what's happening right now is the amount of places where these things are happening. So let's keep it going. Let's see where we at. Rattlesnake advisory issued huge swath of Bay Area parklands. So a view of adult male red diamond rattlesnakes in Riverside County of California. Park officials of the East Bay are warning residents of an increased chance of rattlesnake encounters as the weather starts to warm up for the season. The fact that the weather has been the way it has been is allowed the wildlife to thrive right now. So the East Bay Regional District issued a rattlesnake advisory on Thursday, just before a heat dome blanketed the area over the weekend. The snakes often bask in the sun during warmer weather, of course. So this California rattlesnakes are native to California, and like other snakes, emerge from winter hibernation. So they're just giving you the rundown, but that's just one location I wanted to bring up. So yeah, we got some more. Let's see. And this is Florida. So they're trying to release 42 apex predators have feasted on venomous snakes. So these are some snakes that are eastern indigo snakes that they're using to try to eat the other venomous snakes. So they're longer and larger. So, but they're non-venomous, but they're aggressive when approached. So, but they're trying to release these, and this is just not one combination where people have released a particular type of animal in a region, and that animal thrived and overtook the population of whatever. It was a complete reverse. It was a mistake, and so you're seeing many of these situations not really pan out the right way. So, all right, on to the next one. Unusual looking rattlesnake found in Arizona backyard. This is a first. Yeah, homeowner discovery of a rattlesnake exhibiting an unusual color pattern. So you're seeing snakes that are coming out that you would have never thought would have come out. So a diamondback rattlesnake was uncovered in the backyard of Scottsdale. So all of the prevalent reasons where they are larger, they are different, they are hybridized. Just to see different animal species right now come out is truly tremendous. Great glory. Keep on going. Where can you find rattlesnakes in Oregon? Here are the five most rattlesnake infested areas. Yeah, they're out there in Oregon as well. So in every single state, they are popping up. That's what I'm trying to say, at an alarming rate. And you got a lot of regions where there's nobody living in them. You got whole towns that are completely empty. So this is Oregon. Human immunity. Man bitten by snakes over 100 times helps create revolutionary antivenom. So yeah, scientists are trying to develop this now. This is something that I've seen on the stock market. It's definitely a big business now that it's becoming on the stock market, and just finding antivenoms and stuff like that. Why? Because people are actually having to live outside right now, living in tents, living in RVs, living in tractors and trailers, living in U-Haul trucks. People are living under bridges. These snakes are coming out. It is hot. And it's hot early in the morning. People are still sleeping in these places, in these tents and these RVs and things like that. These animals still are capable of crawling into the engine and through the vent and through the hole in the RV. And yeah, now you got snake or snakes, plural, now, overtaking your living space now. So this is what's happening outside. You've seen a lot of people end up with snake bites. So that's why I'm showing this. So because it's a domino effect as things go down. So I brought up the snake bite because that's what's happening right now. You got a lot of people getting bit by snakes. Rattlesnake Wrangler helps conserve Michigan. So now you got it in Michigan. Only venomous snake at the military base. So yeah, just wanted to show you that a lot of these snakes that are popping up are all venomous. They're trying to release non-venomous snakes to take control of these venomous snakes. It's like, okay, weird, interesting. Okay. But yeah, I'll continue. Well, what do you know? Even over in Delaware. So all on the East Coast is starting to pop up, home to the dangerous animals. So you definitely got snake issues out there. Like I just said, Pennsylvania. So you got the whole Appalachian Mountains running through a lot of that whole area, that whole region, trickling down all the way to the East Coast. But it's not uncommon. People think that these places wouldn't typically have these things, but yep, they're there. So, oh, you got another one. Rattlesnakes slither into Billings, Montana. So, all of these areas that are ending up dry, all the way from Canada, all the way down to Mexico, just everywhere around the world, the snakes have risen. And they definitely have been rising because the magma throughout all the lands have definitely been rising as well. So you're seeing the frequencies, the vibrations, the planetary alignments, and in so many different resonances, vibrating through the ground, and, the animals and the trees and the insect, everything communicates. Everything communicates some way, somehow. So yeah, I wanted to bring that to you. So also have, this is where it's going to be the largest amount of cicadas coming in this year. So these amazing insects were definitely going to blanket everywhere, definitely on the East Coast, millions of acres of. So they're starting to emerge right now. They're back. It's nearly periodical. So native to Eastern North America. They're about an inch long. This year, 17-year cicadas is emerging. So yeah, it's definitely the year that's popping up right now. Let's watch this.
Call it a ground invasion. The cicada buzz is back. Some of the youngest swarming this tree trunk in Ohio. A crowd so thick, they almost look like moving mulch. After years spent buried deep beneath the soil, they're back and ready for the spotlight. But will they take center stage like last year? The eastern part of the U.S. is the only place in the world where you will find cyclical cicadas. While in their nymph stage, the bugs bury underground for up to 17 years at a time, depending on the type. Then, as the season turns and the soil warms to about 64 degrees, they re-emerge, opting for higher ground to molt or shed their skins and spread their wings for the first time. In all, 12 broods of cicadas emerge every 17 years, including this one, brood 14, known to be extra chatty just because of the sheer numbers.
Ohio, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts. They are everywhere this year. It's going to drive these people nuts.
Talking about not tens or hundreds, but tens of thousands.
Or even more. This group is expected to mainly hit Kentucky and Tennessee, with some making an appearance as far north as Massachusetts.
And it's interesting because a lot of that weather that's been going on in these regions have been waking up and shaking up and bringing to the surface a lot of these different years of cicadas.
The batch you'll see this year will be different from last year.
Look at that.
That's when billions of cicadas from two different groups came up from underground at the same time in a once-in-a-lifetime event that hasn't happened since 1803. Not to be mistaken with the group that invaded Washington, D.C. in 2021 over the course of 2 years, taking over a tarmac when former President Biden was trying to get on a plane.
That cicada was giving him a hickey. Got it off that neck.
Our intrepid anchor, Hallie Jackson herself, tried a bit of cicada scampi.
It's delicious.
Just one of the ways locals in the capital were getting creative as the invasion peaked. And last year...
Oh, no. I know y'all didn't just see what I saw. They put chocolate on cicadas. It's real. People eating insects. You got cricket crackers, you got grasshopper bars, and now you got chocolate cicadas.
Cicadas emerged weeks early in Georgia and Illinois. Some scientists say climate change might be shifting their tiny internal clocks. With warmer seasons lasting longer each year, they're going quicker and emerging earlier.
We're just watching it closely.
Concerning farmers like this one on her Kentucky apple orchard.
It makes us all a little nervous, but again, as long as you're being precautious and watching, then we're going to be able to protect, our fruit here.
And while cyclical cicadas only surface for a few short weeks between May and June, they can reshape the entire food web, even boosting bird populations that feed off them. So whether cicadas end up on your dinner menu, or the birds, love them or hate them, here they come.
Marissa Parra is joining us now. That was a lovely but relatively gratuitous inclusion of my previous interview where I ate cicadas. Thank you, but I'm pro cicada. What's interesting, they can actually help the environment, right? I mean, talk us through that.
Yes, they can. And you know what? Cicadas deserve their flowers or plant sap too, okay? There's a lot of animals that people don't like. They're creeped out by them, earthworms, spiders, but they actually help the environment. Cicadas are no exception. They aerate the soil. They help with the local pruning process. Even when they die, they provide nutrients into the soil. And Hallie, they provide an important food source for all kinds of local wildlife and anchors too.
Okay,
I'm not letting that one down.
Thank you. Gratuitous, Marissa Parra. Thank you very much. Super interesting.
Thanks for cicada. She ate a cicada. You. She ate a cicada. You ate one. This is interesting. So I played this one, which is interesting with the food supply. So
Mexico border is shut down to livestock. It's all because of newly ignited concerns about an insect that's been eradicated from the United States. It's called the New World screwworm fly. And News 4's Caitlin Ogle tells us why ranchers are worried about it.
I remember my grandfather and my dad talking about, be sure you get enough of that salve on there so we don't get horn flies.
Former Representative Mark McBride's family has a ranch just north of Sealing. When he was there Wednesday, the conversation turned to screwworm flies.
Me and the cowboys and Dad and my brother were all sitting around talking about it. And, it's a concern of these guys.
State veterinarian Dr. Rod Hall says these flies lay their maggot eggs in wounds that can be as small as a tick bite.
The common maggots that we see only feed on dead tissue. The screwworm maggots, what makes them different is they feed on live tissue.
They burrow deep into the muscle. Any warm-blooded animal, even pets and humans, can be infected.
It can get serious enough that it even causes death.
In the mid-50s, the U.S. started eradicating these screwworm flies. In 2004, News 4 introduced you to Ed Ketchum in Velma, Oklahoma, who helped in the effort.
They realized that the female only mated one time. And if they could produce enough sterile flies to overpower the native population, it would work.
And it did. By the 80s, the flies were pushed back to this line in the sand in Central America. That line recently breached.
These are the two newest cases that we've had.
Hall says now the only facility in our hemisphere that produces these sterile flies is in Panama. It takes a year to build a new facility, and it's expensive.
We just don't have enough flies to cover that whole area.
Now, the USDA shut the border down to livestock. Wednesday, Oklahoma lawmakers and officials gathering to understand what could happen if the flies enter the U.S.
I would add this to the list of something that is certainly keeping us awake at night.
Again, the newest cases are about 700 miles south of the border. McBride says that's too close.
That's scary. It gets into the cattle herds here in the U.S., then it's going to affect beef prices, and it's going to affect ranchers' income.
Dr. Hall says if a screwworm fly does fly into the U.S., they have plans to trap the flies and figure out which ranchers need to be on guard. Caitlin Ogle, Oklahoma's News 4.
Oof. So I bring that up because, like you said, they eat live flesh. The cattle, pets, and humans. So it's eating them, it's eating their dogs, and it's eating the cattle. So when they slaughter this meat, there's parasites in them, there's maggots in them. It is about to be summertime where there's about to be a massive influx of cooking. Burgers, steak, You name it. Will this be the case over the summer? Who knows? Anytime I start talking about something, it starts popping up. So I'm just putting it in the air, beloveds. Interesting.
18 states across the country are dealing with an invasive pest called the spotted lanternfly. In North Carolina, they've only been found in 2 counties, Forsyth and Guilford.
And Kelly Kendall actually saw them for herself in Forsyth County. She joins us now with how the bug can damage crops and homes.
The spotted lanternfly has been spotted here in the Triad. And as one local homeowner showed me, they could be in your backyard right now.
I see it. You're going to have to. One flew. It kind of put me back because, oh no, another bug I got to fight.
The bug Angela Christofferson is fighting is the spotted lanternfly.
I look at my plants at least every other day. And this is my
And I have seen those while I've been out in that region. That's interesting.
plant, so I've babied it a little bit more. And so I was looking down at the bark down near the ground, and I see this little black bug with white spots.
She says she knew all about the invasive critters and immediately contacted the State Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. But she wasn't the first.
We first received the report from an average citizen in Kernersville back in late June of 2022.
Amy Michael, the entomological programs manager with the department, says since then, populations have also been found in Winston-Salem, Greensboro, and Oak Ridge. She says their feeding habits can be detrimental to more than 70 plant species, including, most critically for the Triad, grapes.
There have been instances where the feeding can cause death of the vines. It reduces sugar set in those vines, which reduces quality of wine or table grapes, especially in the upper Piedmont. We have all these beautiful vineyards that have made huge improvements over the last.
So it's affecting all of their vineyards, all of the wine. Wow. It's a major big business in America.
Decade or so that are bringing in tons of agricultural tourism and have really been an economic boon to the region. And we don't want to see that go away just because of one bug.
Spotted lanternflies also contribute to a kind of mold growth that can damage homes, or in Christofferson's case, her new grape myrtle tree. The Agriculture Department doesn't recommend any specific pesticides, but she's fighting back with the natural pesticide neem oil.
They know what's coming for them.
Yep, they do. Spring's here and lanternflies on the move, so be careful. Everybody needs to know.
Michael says the best thing to do if you spot spotted lanternflies is to report them to your county extension agent or to the Agriculture Department. We have details on how to do that, plus more on the lanternfly's life cycle and more ways to manage them on our website,
Ooh. It's getting kind of heavy. It's getting kind of heavy.
Experts say they can be found everywhere in our area, which is why knowing what to do when you see one is so important. Oliver Sabo has tips on how you can stay safe this summer.
Yeah, whether you live in the suburbs or even the city, experts I spoke to say there are just a ton of snakes in our region this time of year, but there are a couple of steps you can take to make a sighting a little less likely.
They are literally everywhere.
It's almost unavoidable. As the weather gets warmer and you start to work out in the yard more, there's a very good chance you may see a snake this summer.
I'm not even exaggerating. We could very well come up on a copperhead in here.
Rich Perry, owner of Virginia Wildlife Management and Control, runs a 24-hour snake identification hotline. He says there's always an uptake in calls this time of year, and as much as we want to keep them away, they're not going anywhere.
Put down mothballs, put down lime, put down snake away. All these different products and everything. There's not a single product in the world that keeps snakes away.
But there are some preventative measures you can take.
Try to keep your yard as manicured as you can, your grass as short as you can, and the biggest thing is keep the leaves up and don't leave any brush pile around. The longer you leave those brush piles and those leaves there, it's nothing but a welcome mat for all snakes.
Perry also recommends trying to minimize rodents like mice and rats on your property.
They're on your property for.
They're on your property because you're nasty, because you're hoarding, because you got all of this disgusting stuff. And so, yes, you got these barns where you got old moldy hay because it stormed and rained and tornadoes and all type of stuff. And they live off that. And so where there's a mice, there's a snake.
One reason and one reason only. They're there for food. If you take away the food source, you take away their reason for being there.
And if you do run into a snake, he says there's one species to look out for.
In Central Virginia, yeah, the only one you're really gonna, if you're gonna encounter a venomous snake, it's gonna be the copperhead.
And if you come across one in your yard or garden?
They're not an aggressive snake. They're a very shy, they're a very docile snake. If you see one, just walk away, leave it alone. You leave it alone, it's gonna leave you alone.
Perry says be careful with pets. Try to keep them on the leash if you can. And make sure your kids know what to do if they see a snake while playing outside. And above all, go to the hospital immediately if you do get bit.
Just be aware. Just have a more heightened alert is what it's all about.
In Chesterfield, Oliver Sabo.
Oof. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to run, and there's nowhere to hide. The amount of snakes and bears, mountain lions and coyotes, it's very real. People are seeing bears for the first time, pop up in where they at right now. So let's keep going.
Face to face with a bear in her garage.
Yeah, now she's sharing her close call as Florida considers bringing back bear hunting for the first time in a decade. News 6's Mark Lehman joins us live in Ocala, where wildlife workers will kick off 2 days of meetings this morning. And Mark, the controversial move meant to address a growing number of encounters, but facing some strong pushback.
Yeah, animal rights activists say it will essentially be a slaughter. They point to the last bear hunt in 2015 when 300 bears were killed after a span of just 2 days. That's something that may be discussed as the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission meets here at the College of Central Florida in Ocala.
One of the baby bears followed me inside the garage.
Lee Kramer lives near Markham Woods in Seminole County. It's known for frequent bear sightings, and she came much too close a few years back. So you came face to face with a bear?
Yeah.
With encounters on the rise, Florida Fish and Wildlife is closing in on a decision to allow bear hunting for the first time in 10 years. If it's regulated, do you think it could be beneficial?
I think so. It will protect everyone.
FWC estimates there are more than 4,000 bears in Florida. Rules for a possible hunt include a permit fee of $100 for residents and $300 for non-residents. It could take place during a 3-week period in December and be limited to areas with the highest population. You'd be against the hunt at this point,
yes,
right?
Most certainly.
The idea has been drawing fierce opposition from some, including a protest in downtown Orlando over the weekend. Those against the hunt say the state should find alternative solutions.
I'm not sure what the best thing is to do, but they deserve to have a good place to live.
Now, this is all part of a 2-day meeting for FWC, and while discussion of a possible bear hunt is happening, a final vote on the issue isn't expected until August. Today's meeting begins at 8:30 this morning.
Ooh. Got the bare necessities and bare necessities. You worry about your way in your spine.
Killed 2 of her goats. That attack happened a month ago. But just this past Sunday, it happened again when a bear killed another 2 goats.
After the most recent attack, state officials say they set up a trap to catch the bear. Fox 61's Alicia Hercules is in Bethlehem, where neighbors are keeping a close eye on their animals tonight.
When Becky Zielinski saw a bear in her goat pen, she immediately called her
news stations
neighbors to check on her goats. But she and her neighbors couldn't imagine what they would find just behind this pen.
the bear had actually taken and killed both of our goats, just a little bit of distance away from where we're standing now.
In this video taken from a security camera last month in Bethlehem, you can see a bear chasing one of the goats in the pen. Becky Zielinski's 2 other baby goats were able to hide behind the shed from the bear. However, her 2 older goats, Otis and Milo, weren't so lucky.
Milo and Otis, so they've been living with us for just a little bit over a year, but they've been with my son's girlfriend for 7 years, so they're pets. They're certainly not livestock as they would be considered.
She was heartbroken to hear about another bear attack that killed 2 other goats in Bethlehem Sunday evening.
Honestly, was shocked, you know, and I'm heartbroken for them because we know exactly what it feels like to go through that.
She believes the bear responsible for killing her goats has come back several times since the attack, and other large bears have been roaming in the area too. Jason Hawley with the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection says black bears are opportunistic predators.
While most of their diet is vegetarian, they certainly won't pass up, you know, an easy meal of a fawn or a goat or something like that. So it does, while it's not super common in Connecticut, it does happen.
The DEEP has received multiple recent reports of bears attacking livestock in the area. Holly says that if you see your livestock being attacked by a bear, it's best to make noise to scare them off. But you must have a permit to use lethal force to kill a bear that may be attacking livestock.
If a human life is in danger, they have the right to defend themselves. You know, if their pet is being attacked, they do have the right to, you know, actively being attacked, they have the right to defend their pet. As of right now, with livestock depredation or any kind of agricultural depredation, they can apply for a permit to lethally remove bears.
Zielinski removed her 2 surviving goats from their pen to bring them to a safer place with family. After adding a stronger and higher electric fence, she hopes they will be safer in the future.
When we bring them back, we can make sure that they're secure again.
The DEEP encourages livestock owners to install electric fencing to protect their animals from bears and other predators during the day and night. In Bethlehem, Alicia Hercules, Fox.
Hercules. Yes, it is really going down. People's livestock. The Most High is like, you ain't gonna have no Walmart food. You ain't gonna have no backyard food. Oh man, it is going down. Yes, it is. It's even across seas. It's over in Spain. We planted this fruit tree all over the country, and it turns out it's a snake magnet. So everything and everywhere, it is happening, beloveds. So just wanted to leave y'all with that. And